Kia ora koutou katoa, nau mai hara mai ki te Ao Hākinakina, your sports show right here on your Tribal Pulse, te kore mako o Taranaki, 94.8 FM and 98.4 FM. Well, he is a pro natural bodybuilding world champion in the Classic Physique Division. He's a personal trainer and the co-owner of Elevate Gym New Zealand, and he also runs and is involved with several companies and businesses. Known for his disciplined approach and rapid success in competitive bodybuilding, he has represented New Zealand on the world stage on multiple occasions, winning several international and national titles on the way, and recently finished third at the NABBA World Championships in the Classic Physique Division in Sydney. And we're very lucky and grateful to have him here on the show. No mai, hara mai, Kel Dombroski. Kia ora, my brother. How are we?
Hey, thank you so much, mate. I appreciate you having me on board, mate. It's great to hear from you again.
Hey, it's good. It's good to have you on the show, bro. I've been excited about this catch up. For our listeners at home, me and Kel go back a long way. We're in the rugby academy there at Whit and Taranaki Rugby Union. So we won't go there though, because we've got plenty of old stories that'll keep us going all show. But we'll get straight into it, bro. Ko wai koe, no haere koe, just a bit about yourself and where you're from.
I was born and raised in Taranaki, and I grew up in the Mimi district there, where I went to the local primary school, and from there I went on to Manukarihi Intermediate, then followed and finished my schooling at Waitara High School. I was also offered an opportunity to play rugby in Western Australia a few years after that, and I took that up, and yeah, I've been in Australia for about a decade and a half now, so yeah, it's been a bit of a journey, but yeah, I also have a trade qualification in the automotive industry and have studied sports science and mechanical engineering.
Beautiful, beautiful. Now, you mentioned the community there, Manukarihi, Mimi, beautiful part of the world. Now,
yeah, it's beautiful.
As a youngster, being up in a sports mad community, growing up in a sports mad community, what was it always like rugby when you were younger, or what kind of sports did you play when you were a young fella?
Growing up as a kid, I played, various sports as most kids do, but in particular, I had a real special interest for surfing, mainly surfing, to be honest, and also rugby as well. That was great for me. Being a shy kid, it really helped me come out of my shell, both those sports, being that they're both involved, teamwork and also the surfing side with the whole individual side of things. So no, it was great, and they definitely helped me build the base fundamentals for later on in life.
I remember those days of you surfing, always hitting those waves, most definitely. Now, you spoke of rugby. You're a pretty handy rugby player back in your day. Tell us a little bit about, your rugby union time here in Taranaki, playing for Clifton and in the junior grades and whatnot.
Yeah, no, they were great times, Wayne. Yeah, unfortunately, I feel like I was more handy at accumulating injuries over that time. But yeah, I played for a lot of various Taranaki age group sides. Obviously, the academy with yourself. Also played for the Taranaki Reserves, and yeah, the Taranaki Māori side also, which I'd have to say is one of my all-time favourite sides I played for. So yeah, just a great camaraderie, and those trips were pretty fantastic, as you'd know. So
they sure were. And yeah, you're always a good guy to have on that field, mate, and in the flanking position there. Bit of a workhorse in his day, whānau, old Kel was, and he was a pleasure to play alongside with. And now, obviously, that kind of work ethic that you've had, through your sports, through rugby, through surfing, has now moved on to bodybuilding. So what inspired you to start bodybuilding, and what keeps you motivated about it today?
Yeah, to be honest, it was something I never thought I'd seriously take up. It was always kind of going to be a one and done type thing for me. But yeah, obviously I accumulated a lot of serious injuries in my late teens and early 20s that kind of unfortunately severely hampered my athletic ability and my range of motion in certain parts of the body. So I was always looking for another sport to take up that I could compete in. And yeah, I fell into bodybuilding. That was mainly due to becoming part gym owner. And my little sister gave me a bit of encouragement, and I thought, why not tick it off the bucket list, get it done, and it quickly turned into a passion and into something greater. So Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's awesome. Now, obviously, there must have been a moment, you know, when you, like you said, you stepped into bodybuilding, you gave it a go, and it was one and done. But there must have been a pivotal moment in your journey that kind of shaped your mindset, and your approach to bodybuilding and to training. What was there a moment that kind of really sparked the fire in you?
Yeah, that's a good question, Wayne. I'd have to probably say when I very first started weight training, when I finished high school, there were definitely moments there where, you know, you start weight training, you notice obviously the physical changes and seeing how the body adapts to you know, the different ways of training and all that kind of stuff. But I definitely have to say, you know, performing those strength and power-based exercises in the gym, then having them translate to the field, sort of proved to me with with a lot of, I guess, consistency and discipline and a bit of mental toughness, you know, that you can overcome certain perceived genetic flaws and turn those perceived weaknesses into strengths. So, I mean, that basically showed me what you could really do, and I've just applied that since then, really, into everything I do.
Love that philosophy. Now, what does a typical kind of training week look like for a bodybuilder? What does it look like for you, and how do you balance, you know, the intensity along with the recovery?
Yeah, of course. So at the moment, obviously, getting ready for a couple of shows coming up. So basically, every day involves some sort of low intensity form of cardio. And that's generally between 1 to 2 hours. And then obviously you have your resistance training 4 times a week. So that's kind of mainly where I'm at the moment. Obviously, you have your seasons as well, where you try and gain a bit of size and strength. But yeah, that's something that always sort of keeps me going, is just that progress, and yeah, trying to always make sure you look your best on stage, and yeah, and just listening to the body's the main thing, Wayne. So especially if you have a little niggle or something like that, you know, you sort of don't try and push it too much. Listen to the body, have an extra day off or modify an exercise, and yeah, and if you feel like you need that extra day off and you feel like you can't go anymore, you just take it off or take a couple of days off and then come back to it. Because there's nothing worse than sort of having something happen and you're out for a couple of weeks, you know, because that sort of ruins your preparation.
Nice. Now, well, something must be working well, because you've got a rig to show it, bro. You're looking pretty pretty cut there, my bro. You remind me of me back in the old days. Oh no, not really.
Yeah, but, definitely. Like, you're my inspiration. That's why I really got into it.
Oh, there we have it. Well, yeah. Make sure to stay tuned with us, Barno. We're having a good corridor here with Kel Dombroski, who does, you know, bodybuilding, which is a pretty cool little sport. So make sure you stay tuned, Whānau. We're going to come back to speak with Kel more shortly. Kia ora koutou wānau, no mai hara mai ki te Ao Hākinakina. We're back here on your sports show here, right here at Te Koremako o Taranaki 94.8 FM and 98.4 FM. And we're speaking with Kel Dombroski. He's calling in all the way from Western Australia, but he's from little old Mimi in North Taranaki there. So it's good to have him on the show, and he's taking us on a bit of a journey. Now, we're just before the break, we were speaking about rigs and being cut and all that kind of jazz. Now, to do that, you must be pretty disciplined with the nutrition. So how do you stay disciplined with your nutrition and your lifestyle, especially during competition prep?
Yeah, so for me personally, I just keep my mind and focus on that end goal and that one show that I've got to do. And I always treat it as if it's my last opportunity to stand on that stage. And so that really helps me focus. And, you know, I don't like to leave anything to chance. I mean, if you do that, win or lose, you know, you can walk off the stage being proud no matter how the results play out. So that's always been important to me. Just keep the eye on the end of that goal, you know. So yeah, because you always want to come in at your best, of course. So, and representing your country is also very helpful.
100%. Well, you've got good discipline there, bro, because I don't know if you remember us in the academy days, but the bakery up the road was my favorite shop, so I don't think I'd go very good
I think it was
the bodybuilding.
Everyone was sneaking off up there.
Awesome. So what has been, you know, obviously bodybuilding must come with some challenges. What have been the biggest challenge, you know, your biggest challenge that you've faced in your bodybuilding career, and how did you overcome it?
There's probably been a couple of things. Obviously, there's sort of all the old injuries and niggles that I've had. But I managed to overcome them just by like working around certain exercises or modifying a few things. But one of the biggest ones would be the copious amount of second places that I got for a while there. I just couldn't quite get that first place. But I obviously, with, you know, consistency, discipline, and just keep grinding away, eventually I did end up cracking and getting that overall title, and from there things just really snowballed for me. You know, I was never one to sort of stand back and feel sorry for myself, I guess, in a sense. Just get straight back to it, and straight in the gym the next day after the competition. How can I improve? And just keep things moving until you get that goal, you know.
Beautiful, bro. You got that tough mindset, that's for sure. So how has your perspective on fitness and health evolved since you started competing in bodybuilding?
Well, yeah, it's definitely given me a new appreciation for what it takes to step on that stage, and also at the elite level. You know, bodybuilding's a pretty niche and unique sport. It's one of those sports where, you know, nutrition, training, and your sleep just has to be all aligned. It's not like sort of like when you used to play rugby, you know, you get away with like bad nutrition or missing a training here or there, you know. It's there's no room for error, essentially. So if you want to come in your best, you just have to have everything sort of aligned with minimal errors, minimal injuries, and just being able to sort of flow all the way through from your first day of prep all the way to the show.
Love it, love it. That's some discipline right there. Now, as a coach and a gym owner, how do you support others in their fitness journeys, especially like beginners? Because obviously, you know, you mentioned earlier you own a few gyms and you help support others. So how do you support others?
Essentially the way I do it is I always look at someone and treat them as an individual. You know, because you got to recognize that not a one size fits all approach works for everyone. So I really take the time and be patient, and obviously sorting out and setting goals and all that kind of stuff. And I sort of take a different approach in that aspect and find as much as I can about their background and sort of their lifestyle and where they want to go on their individualistic goals and what they want to achieve. And because everyone's sort of biomechanics and mental approach to things is different. So I really take that on board, then sort of tailor everything to suit the individual.
Love it, love it. Well, I could do with some help from you, I think, my mate. But what advice would you give to someone considering their first bodybuilding competition? So for any listeners out there that might be listening to the show and might go, actually, I wouldn't mind giving this a go. What advice would you give them?
Definitely give yourself enough time to prepare for a show. It takes a lot longer than people would normally think. So depending on your fitness level, your training level, and your background, you know, you could be looking at maybe up to a year before actually stepping on that stage. But the most important thing is to be realistic with your goals, be patient with yourself. And more importantly, it's got to be something I feel you really need to do and want to do for yourself. And just really embrace it and be proud of yourself no matter what the result is at the end of the day. Just getting on that stage is a huge deal. And you just got to realize, I guess, sometimes in life you only get one chance to accomplish certain things. So, you know, you got to make the most out of any opportunity you get and not let fear hold you back, and just go for it sometimes.
Well, you're definitely doing that, my mate. We're very, very proud of you and all that you're doing, not only in the bodybuilding space, but within life. You're a top bloke, and we're very privileged to have you on the show. It's been absolutely amazing to catch up in kōrero once again, my friend. And we wish you all the very best with what comes up in the future in terms of bodybuilding and business and whatnot. And thanks again for coming on the show.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Wayne.